All right, hello, hello. So, this is going to be my review for One Love, the Bob Marley movie. So, let me see. There's a lot of things that I want to say. So, first of all, I'm Chris. I like to do reviews. This is going to be a raw review, and I do got a lot of things to share, so I'm going to share about that. So the movie takes place in 1976, based on the true story of Bob Marley's last year. So I'm gonna read a little bit of what I wrote before because I wrote already. So uh, first, I want to say this movie really educated me with what Bob really was really all about, and that's true. There was a lot of things that I didn't know about Bob Marley's life at all. Uh, so I knew so little that I didn't even know the song "I Shot the Sheriff." That's right, I shot the sheriff. So I didn't actually know that he wrote that song and sang that song and stuff. That's pretty cool to know. I heard it covered many times, but anyway, just to say how little I knew about him, and that's generally how I like to watch based on true stories kinds of things. So yeah, that's basically true. I like to watch, true documentary biopics, to know how, more about the, you know, I live in this world. I want to know more about it, right? So that's pretty much it. Um, Now, before you, before you think it, I do know that Hollywood or whatever likes to dramatize things. So, having said that, right after watching, I did research about the true facts. So that's true. I did do a lot of research already, so I know. So I wanted to know the comparisons. So, things like, did he really do that? And okay. Anyway, um, So right away, I want to say that if you don't hear so much Rasta Jamaican accents, this is going to be hard for you to listen to. For example, like I didn't know that Jah means God, right? So that's something good to know going into the movie because they don't explain it, and I had to look it up and stuff. I started, anyway, I'll just leave it at that. So it felt very authentic to watch, at least. Definitely authentic. It felt like everything that I was watching was like I felt like I was there at the moment and everything, and it was very well. Like I felt it. I'm gonna explain more about that later. I also want to say the editing was good too. These days I have issues with how a lot of movies are edited lately. A scene cutting off too early can feel abrupt or too long. That can hurt the pacing. Absolutely true. Hold on, Hitman review. Review. Um, hold on. So yeah. Um, so let me just make sure. Eh. Okay. So there were some things that are also edited in the creative way that some movies would either have some kind of exposition or just shot differently. But this movie let you understand the feelings, and I think that's pretty powerful. I wrote that. I still agree with that in a sense. There were some pretty powerful imagery for sure, but at the same time, um, there they were a little maybe let's say lacking, and I'm gonna explain it as I go through my play-by-play. Um, so I also said just the colors. Yes, there are very nice colors in the movie. It's not gray, it's not brown, it's not totally colorful all the time. It's in between. So I think that was really great to be able to kind of feel that magic. I don't know. It felt like it was not monotone and or vintage. It felt, very dynamic. So yeah. The ending where the interviewer. Hold on, I just skip a little bit here, so I'm gonna skip that. I think it's pretty cool that one of his performances he got. Okay, so next bit will be a play-by-play as I made notes, and again I explained from my other video that I wasn't rude about it being on the other side and in the back. Okay, so it starts with doing a free concert that would unite the two sides of civil war in Jamaica. So right away, which really introduces the character on the right foot, and that's spoilers, by the way, or foreshadowing, as they say. So I was asking if he's really buff, so I'm gonna try to insert that and see if he was buff or not, right? Um, so then they go. There's a whole scene that happens in the house, and again, I'm gonna go spoiler free, but basically there's a part where a guy shoots someone, and they say that apparently her dreadlocks stopped the bullet an inch away from the brain. So I wrote this. So I'm not gonna lie, but I did laugh from the line. But I mean, I'm not a gun expert, but from what I remember looking at it, it was a Luger in the movie, which is a gun in German famously found in World War II. Yes, that is what I wrote before. I read that. I wrote that. That's right. So it's possible. 1940-ish gun diverting in a different direction. I get. So fine. But that is pretty miraculous. So that's what the movie goes off of. That miraculous save from Jaw. There was a concert scene, and when he imagines pointing the gun. Okay, so he's already traumatized. Um, he's hold on. He's already like, you know, like he's traumatized. He's what's the word? PTSD. Sorry, I was looking at the video at the same time. And with PTSD, he was already fearing, but at the same time concentrating on his concert. So there was a concert scene, and when he imagines the guy pointing the gun, I thought that was a very well done, because it was very subtle, and it felt like you know that's what he was thinking. So I thought that was great. But after he starts to sing, he just sings on the stage, and there's very few cutaways. So I thought it would have been a good choice to put in little cutaways of things that he could be thinking about, things that inspired him to actually like write the songs. So to me, that was a missed opportunity. So that's what I'll say about that. If you watch the movie, you know. I wrote Puss and Dog. I don't know why. So I'm just gonna skip that. So when he goes across the seas, he doesn't seem like he's doing so much. So I wonder what money he has. They don't allude to it in any way in the movie, and they don't really say how he got his money. So I felt like maybe it would have been kind of good if they said like, he was writing a lot of songs, he was pretty popular already, and he obviously was popular already. So I wrote that kind of, let's say, early, and I wouldn't consider that a mistake. So I like the foreshadowing of the football. So they actually do focus on the soccer ball a lot when they talk about like kicking this. Like it's just vaguely, subtly shown how he's kicking a ball, kind of thing. He loves soccer, right? So I thought that was like a nice kind of touch throughout the movie to because that is ultimately the demise. So we get facts mixed up all the time. Like I said, I will try to look up as much as I can in terms of accuracies. So in the movie, the gang was living in the same one house, and they were listening to the soundtrack Exodus in the 1960s movie. But when you look it up, Google just says Bob Marley often quoted the Bible. So unless this is in a biography of him, it doesn't seem to be easy to find on Google. I mention it because, again, according to what I could find on Google, it mentioned that the title was inspired uh, as a cynical retort to Prime Minister Michael Manley's campaign slogan, which assured the Jamaican people, "We know where we're going," which is Exodus from the Bible. Sorry, I read a lot of that, but basically I was just saying that I found a quote on Google. I couldn't find anything related about. So in the movie, he comes up with his famous album Exodus, the name from a movie title, which is Exodus the movie. But apparently on Google, it has nothing about that. I can't find anything. And the only thing that I could find was just that he quoted the Bible all the time, and Exodus is like as famous as saying David or John 3:15 or whatever like that, right? Exodus 3:36. Like I don't know the Bible, but I'm just saying. So it was just as popular as that. So I'm just, again, another missed opportunity where I feel like they Hollywoodized it when they didn't need to. Anyway. So I thought it was a little odd to have inspirational music that wasn't done by Bob Marley. So there is a whole montage scene where they show him doing a concert throughout different parts of the country. Sorry, different parts of the continent in Europe, where he would do lots of different concerts, and it would just be a bland I don't know, like Sony Vegas default music inspirational. Like you type in inspirational, you get that music. So I thought that was a little odd when Bob Marley could easily like they could have picked the Bob Marley song. Maybe they ran out of funds to do the music. I don't know. Excuse me. So um, yeah, nice few parts on. So but that part felt like it was a little lost on the authenticity during the montage of his European tour. European. That's right. So I didn't have much to say after that. So I'm just going to read verbatim again what I was saying. So now, I do want to say that the movie just emits emotions. And emotions play on mood. So I do have to say it was a good day when I went to see it. So I was in a good mood going in, and it was a good experience with no one talking in the background to distract me or anything like that. So I just thought I would add that because some movies can get lower rankings, but the movie made me feel the things that I think I needed to feel, and they kept my attention doing it. So I think that was a great thing. I would still stick by that, right? There was good pacing, and it didn't feel like it slowed down. I felt like lots of stuff was happening all the time, so I didn't feel totally bored, and it made me remind me what is happening. So I thought that was great. Let me see. The movie made me feel think. Okay, so having said that, I can't recommend the movie for everyone. That's true. So it's a peek into his life. So if you know nothing about him, like I was, glad it wasn't turned into a cheap TV show with 6 episodes. That would have been too much filler, and this just worked. Again, at least for me. I would give it an 8 out of 10, and I will be watching this again later with subtitles. Yes, I did not emphasize the subtitles issue. Uh, the movie had very strong Rastafarian accents, and sometimes there would be things that I wouldn't actually understand totally. So I just wanted to be clear on that. So I would definitely watch this again with subtitles because at the end of the day, it just wasn't. Like there were definitely a lot of things that I would have liked to understand more. So I guess yeah, I mean, do I agree with my 8 out of 10 at the time? Yes. Yes. Because it was well shot, it was well paced, it was well told, and I learned a little bit more about Earth history and Bob Marley. And this movie made me listen to a little more Bob Marley casually. So yeah, there's that too. So at the end of the day, still 8 out of 10 as of now. Um, and yeah, I do not agree with the 6 out of 10s that's going out there. 6 out of 10, I think I saw 7 out of 10 maybe. Oh, One Love. 6.4, 43 Rotten Tomatoes. Let's see what they say of Rotten Tomatoes. So the character is not complex here. Sure, I would describe him. No, hold on. He was complex. Bob Marley actually. He. There were times where he was like, portrayed as almost a black Jesus, but then there was a scene where he actually attacked someone. So uh, this guy was missing out. This guy was missing out. Um, the character is not complex. The character here is really heroic and very admirable. The issue with that is, shh, um, so the film has a blandness at its heart that I actually don't think was part of the story. Interesting. He gives that's a positive review, by the way. For all the music in it, I don't think you get a real feel for Bob Marley's creative process. I mean, there was a whole scene about him sitting with the producers about him feeling like his music was more than just being a pop thing. It was about the message. So this guy also missed the mark. It's a worthy addition to features, docs, series, and box that will continue to explore facets of the reggae superstar's existence. This may not be the ultimate Marley narrative, yep, but this project respectively keeps his memory and mission alive. Totally agree. 3 out of 4. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I would totally agree with that review. Totally agree. Bob Marley, One Love is an intimate look at the man, music, message that changed the world, a message which is extremely timely as ever. Yes, I would also agree. Timely as ever. Um, it was very, what's the word? Um, it was very, I want to say similar, but there's another specific word to it. Uh, but it's really relatable. That's the word I'm trying to look for. Relatable. Very relatable at this time. Talking about peace, talking about two sides, talking about uniting. You know, sometimes maybe listen. So there was a very nice message at the end that I want to share. But he was saying how at the end of the day, okay, no, sorry, scratch that. He did a concert. He invited one leader and the opposing leader. And when he made the concert, he invited both of them. And then when they met, it seemed to be the start of a revolutionary, at the time it was civil war. And then when they two met, it was like that was the time where it started to really subside. So I think that's pretty powerful. I think it was pretty powerful of a message, very good, very great. And if nothing else, I really came from that message strong. So, yeah. Of course, the music is fantastic, the story is interesting, and it's expected a sad ending as Marley tragically died early. Yes, he did, very early. I think he was 36 maybe years old when he died. The real joy here is knowing that this will help his music and a message of peace live on through younger generations. Yep, also agreed. So, yeah, at the end of the day, I'm going to stick to my 8 out of 10. I'm very surprised at audience score. So that's the thing too, right? Audience score versus review score. And the review score, like I'm already going to review the reviewers, but I mean, I don't agree with like the first two that seem very negative. Uh, so I think I agree with this person. Oh, I didn't read it, but yeah, I agree. So yeah, overall great movie. If you don't know about Bob Marley, he's definitely a figure for sure, more than I thought he was, and it's a good learning opportunity in that respect. Very authentic, and yeah, I will watch it again with subtitles. Okay. All right. So if anything, thank you so much, and I'm gonna end my recording here. Bye.